Liam lived in a small village nestled between rolling hills and thick forests, far from the bustle of the city. It was a peaceful place where everyone knew everyone's name, and life moved slowly. The people in the village were hardworking, and most earned their living by farming or running small local businesses. There wasn't much to do, and opportunities were scarce. But for Liam, even from a young age, this peaceful existence wasn't enough. He dreamed of more. He dreamed of success. He dreamed of financial freedom. Liam's family wasn't poor, but they weren't rich either. His father, Mark, was a farmer who worked from dawn until dusk to keep the family fed. His mother, Sarah, took care of the home, growing vegetables in their small garden and making clothes. They lived modestly, never lacking for anything essential, but luxuries were out of reach. As a child, Liam never thought much about money. He was content with the little things, playing with his friends, running through the fields, and dreaming of the future. But as Liam grew older, he began to notice the difference between his family and others in the village. His father worked tirelessly on the farm, yet he didn't seem to get ahead. There was always just enough to get by, but not enough for anything extra. Liam would hear his parents talking late at night about bills, about how the next season's harvest needed to be good, or about how they might need to borrow money again just to make ends meet. Liam's curiosity grew. He asked his father why they couldn't live in a nicer house or buy things they didn't have to make or grow themselves. His father smiled and said, "Son, hard work is the key to everything, but sometimes, even hard work isn't enough. We just have to keep going, and maybe one day, things will get better." As Liam entered his teenage years, he began to understand the weight of his father's words. It wasn't that his father was lazy, quite the opposite. He worked as hard as anyone could. But there was something missing, a plan. A strategy for getting ahead. A way to break the cycle of endless hard work without seeing the rewards. Liam began to believe that there had to be a better way. At 16, Liam decided to leave the village for a while to attend a nearby city's high school. It wasn't an easy decision. It meant leaving behind his family, his home, and everything he had known. But he believed that an education would open doors to a better life. When he arrived in the city, he was overwhelmed by the newness of it all: tall buildings, busy streets, and people from all walks of life. But there was something else that caught his attention. The people around him seemed to live differently. They didn't just work hard, they worked smart. They understood how money worked. They invested in themselves and their futures. During his years in the city, Liam worked part-time jobs to support himself, delivering newspapers, washing dishes, and tutoring younger students. The pay was low, and the work was tiring, but he had a single-minded focus. He wasn't just saving money for the sake of it, he was learning how to make it grow. He began reading books about personal finance, watching videos about entrepreneurship, and talking to people who had succeeded in business. It was a new world for him, and he was determined to learn everything he could. One of the most impactful lessons he learned was about the power of investing. At first, Liam didn't understand the concept. He thought that to get rich, you needed to have a large sum of money to start with. But after reading about how people with smaller amounts of money had grown their wealth through smart investments, he began to see the potential. He started small, investing the little money he could save from his part-time jobs. He put it into stocks and savings accounts, learning about risk, rewards, and patience. Each small victory, each tiny increase in his savings, reinforced his belief that hard work combined with knowledge could change his life. But while Liam was learning, his family at home struggled. His father's health began to decline, and the farm became more difficult to manage. The weather had been unpredictable, and the crops were often sparse. The family had taken out loans to cover medical bills and farming expenses, and they were living in constant fear of falling deeper into debt. The burden of responsibility weighed heavily on Liam's shoulders. He knew that his family was counting on him, and he couldn't afford to fail. When Liam graduated from high school at 18, he returned to the village to help his family. He had dreams, big dreams, but he also knew that he needed to help his father. He started by organizing the farm better. He helped his father set up a more efficient irrigation system and introduced new farming methods he had learned in the city. At first, his father was skeptical. He didn't believe that new techniques could solve their problems. "We've been doing this for generations," his father would say. "It's not going to work." But Liam didn't give up. He patiently showed his father the benefits of his ideas, and slowly, his father began to trust him. They implemented changes to the way they grew crops, and over time, the results began to show. Their harvests became more abundant, and they sold their produce at local markets for higher prices. Slowly but surely, Liam and his father began to pay off the debts that had once seemed insurmountable. As their farm became more successful, Liam used the extra money to continue investing in his education and learning about business. He started small side projects, selling handmade crafts and produce at the local market. He reinvested the profits, always looking for new ways to grow his wealth. But success didn't come without challenges. There were months when business was slow, and there were times when the weather destroyed their crops. There were failures, mistakes, and moments when Liam questioned whether he could really make his dreams a reality. But each time Liam encountered failure, he didn't give up. He learned from it. He adjusted his approach and kept going. He understood that success wasn't about avoiding mistakes, it was about persevering through them. He was no longer the boy from the village who had dreamed big but lacked the tools to make his dreams a reality. He had transformed into a man who knew that hard work, combined with the right mindset and knowledge, was the key to success. By the time Liam was in his mid-20s, his family's financial situation had changed dramatically. The farm was thriving, and they had paid off their debts. Liam had started a small business selling organic produce to local markets and online. His investments were growing, and he was finally able to move out of his parents' house and buy a modest home of his own. But it wasn't the material success that mattered most to Liam, it was the sense of freedom that came with it. He had worked hard, learned from his mistakes, and built something for himself and his family. Looking back, Liam knew that the journey had been long and difficult, but it had been worth it. He had learned the importance of financial literacy, the value of hard work, and the necessity of perseverance. More than that, he had learned that financial freedom wasn't something that just happened, it was something you created through your actions, choices, and mindset. At 30, Liam found himself in a position he had once only dreamed of. He was financially independent, and his wealth was growing steadily. He had invested in real estate, stocks, and businesses. He was able to travel the world, to give back to his community, and to spend time with his family without worrying about money. But perhaps the greatest success of all was that he had helped change his father's life. Together, they had broken the cycle of financial struggle that had held their family back for generations. Liam's story is a testament to the power of hard work, learning, and perseverance. It shows that no matter where you start, no matter how difficult your circumstances may seem, you can create the life you desire. Financial freedom isn't about luck or privilege, it's about making the right choices, staying focused on your goals, and never giving up. It's about dreaming big and doing the hard work to make those dreams a reality. For Liam, the boy from the village, financial freedom was no longer just a dream, it was his reality. And it all started with the simple belief that hard work, combined with the right knowledge and mindset, could overcome any obstacle.